So let's talk about Assassin's Creed HEXE. This is the one Ubisoft announced a while ago with no concept except a spooky trailer and some creepy vibes and the promise that it's going to be a different Assassin's Creed game. And since then, the internet has done what it always does. Half the fan base has built a full game in their head already through the leaks, and the other half is arguing about whether it's even real. So today in this video, we're going to be doing the sensible thing. I know, that's weird for this channel, but we're going to be going over what's confirmed by Ubisoft, what's leaked by credible insiders, what sounds realistic, what sounds like someone on Reddit had a Red Bull and a dream, and of course when I think the game will actually release, because HEXE could honestly be the most exciting direction AC's taken in years, or it could just be another dream that fails. Hopefully it's not, but let's break it all down. So let's start off with some stuff we can say is 100% confirmed, and that is that Ubisoft said it's taking a completely different approach. Now when Mark Alexis Cote was at the company, he described HEXE as something they're taking a different approach to innovate in terms of gameplay and creating different creative tracks within Assassin's Creed, which sounds pretty cool because that's what Ubisoft admitting not every AC needs to be the same giant open world RPG, which I 100% agree with. It's also been confirmed that it's tied to the Animus hub, which most Assassin's Creed games going forward will be tied to, meaning that it isn't going to be a one-off sort of game. It's part of that new structure and the modern day structure thing they have going on, which we all know my opinion on that. The modern day needs work, so hopefully HEXE can improve that. But then there's a lot of things that are missing, like who's the main protagonist, where's the confirmed release date, where's the confirmed setting, and this is the place where the leaks kind of fill in the gaps. Of course, when we talk about leaks, most of what comes back comes to the company of Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson, so take everything I say within these leaks with a grain of salt. But the most recurring claims are there's a single female protagonist with the placeholder name of Elsa. Another leak suggests that it's going to be more linear than the RPG style games with some open exploration. Another leaker says that it's set in 16th century Central Europe, witch trials, that sort of stuff, set around Germany, which I'm excited about. And the most spiciest bit of news is that there's going to be some supernatural abilities, including a reported example where a cat can get possessed to distract strangers and do puzzles, and honestly, that does sound pretty cool. The reason these leaks feel somewhat believable though is because they match Ubisoft's own different approach line. If you want to make a truly different Assassin's Creed game, what should you do? Well, you shrink the scope, tighten the structure, and lean more into the stealth, the dread, the paranoia, controlled spaces, and story-driven pacing. A witch trial setting does that for you automatically. But of course, there are a lot of other stuff that I don't believe in because it just sounds rubbish. And the first one is that it's going to be a full horror Assassin's Creed, and a lot of people keep throwing around that it's going to be a horror game. I don't think Ubisoft is making Resident Evil with a hidden blade. What I do believe though is that it's going to be a darker tone with unsettling vibes, fear-driven missions, and maybe some cool psychological stuff, but full-on horror? No, that's not going to be the case because Ubisoft loves that mass appeal too much. And of course, when the leaks say supernatural abilities, fans including myself think fireballs, teleporting, witchcraft, skill trees, summoning animals, that sort of stuff, but I doubt that's going to be the case. If this is real, I think it would be more like Odyssey's Isu tech but dressed up as myth. You feel like it's supernatural, but there's a good lore explanation behind all of it. So if someone out there tells you HEXE will have you flying around on a broomstick, let's just not believe them, although I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's the Harry Potter game, you guys can go play that right now. But enough of the leaks. What do I think has a chance of being true? And honestly, the first one is that there should be a more tighter, more linear structure. If HEXE is more linear with controlled zones, that's a huge win, because Assassin's Creed works best when levels are designed for stealth and movement, not when you're riding a horse for 8 minutes straight to start a cutscene or a quest line, which we all know I hate in the most recent game. And then there's the fear, paranoia, usage as stealth mechanics. If they do the fear system rather than just vibes, that could be incredible. Imagine going into a town and they suddenly don't trust you because suspicion spreads throughout the country. Witnesses that matter if they catch you doing a crime or killing a bunch of guards with these supernatural abilities, that news will spread out throughout the different cities, and as soon as you enter one, wanted level. Let's give this character a wanted system or reputation system like Red Dead Redemption. Have it be so if people see her doing creepy, violent things, her reputation goes down. But if they see her doing good stuff, going against guards that are attacking random people, the reputation builds worlds, and depending on the city you're in, it could have a greater impact to the story or side missions and that sort of stuff. And then of course, with the supernatural stuff, the presentation of all of that has to be grounded. This is going to be the sweet spot for everything because you can make it feel like folk horror, but keep it within the AC canon. If the cat possession thing is real, I want it to be more like an Animus abstraction, a tool/companion mechanic, a perception trick, or just some Isu tech, not actual magic, because Isu tech fits in within the Assassin's Creed world, real life magic doesn't. Another thing that sounds great is the setting because it fits perfectly within the franchise. You can have the witch trials and the Holy Roman Empire era as fear weaponized by institutions, public paranoia, the scapegoating to our main character, with truth being controlled by power. That's basically Templar PR right there within this historic element, so you don't even need to add that in, although obviously we want it added in because Templars versus Assassins, that's just Assassin's Creed. So to boil it down, I like the smaller scope, the tighter mission design, darker tone, more stealth focus, and a setting that isn't a big forest map with 300 different icons. What does worry me though is that if Ubisoft hears different and translate that into gimmicks over fundamentals, stealth that's optional again, or another system that sounds cool but doesn't really affect the moment-to-moment gameplay. And then of course, with it being tied into the Animus hub, it's okay, but the execution needs to be a lot better than what we currently have. Because if Hexe ends up feeling like content inside a launcher rather than a proper standalone experience, people will clock out and be bored with it after a few hours, which I know we all don't want. Another big question on everyone's lips is when will the game drop? Well, a lot of leaks from Insider Gaming repeat that 2026 is the target window for the game, but a lot of outlets and communities really do put it within the 2026 to 2027 range, because within 2026 there's a huge elephant in the room, and that is GTA. No publisher with a functioning brain wants to launch near that title. So my guess is that if Hexe is ready in 2026, Ubisoft probably aims for a spring 2026 launch, but if development needs more time, then early 2027 is the safer play. My personal call and feelings towards this is that it should release in early 2027, because that feels like the most realistic landing zone, unless Ubisoft are confident it can ship well before the GTA season, because there's also apparently the Black Flag remake releasing this year as well, so we don't want to get two big AC games releasing in 1 year. It would honestly be too much for a lot of players, because you don't want to go from one game to the next, then back to the other, then to the other, with the constant updates Ubisoft are now known for giving us. So let's release it in early 2027, give the game some space, give us some cool DLC, and I'm sure a lot of fans will be happy, although there are some that won't be, but that's just the way of things. And as I'm literally editing this video, it's just been confirmed via LinkedIn that Christopher Grilly is starting a new position at Ubisoft Montreal as a lead scriptwriter on Assassin's Creed Hexe. Now this could mean either two things. One, the game needs a couple rewrites, so they're getting in a new scriptwriter to implement some new features, some new storylines, or just some random quests, which means the game could be pushed back to 2027. However, I don't think that's the case. A lot of you guys know Rafiti over on Twitter, YouTube, a brilliant AC YouTuber, and he has shed some light on this, as you can read by his tweet. He showcased that Christopher has worked on a ton of other Assassin's Creed games like Assassin's Creed Mirage and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's also worth mentioning that he's been a scriptwriter on all of Valhalla's DLC content, so it's safe to say that he's been with the company writing for them for a long time. My bet is that he's probably working on the DLC for Hexe, or he's been working as a scriptwriter for a while and has only just updated his LinkedIn page, because I really don't think Ubisoft would wait this long to get a new lead scriptwriter in to write the game. It wouldn't make that much sense. But to end it off, I want you guys to let me know what you think about Assassin's Creed Hexe. Are you excited by the trailer you saw? Are the leaks getting you hyped up? What don't you like? What do you like? And what do you want to appear in the game? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe for some more Assassin's Creed content. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.